Okay. Yeah. So today's topic of discussion is ideal and non-ideal solution. I've told you it's important topic also from your exam point of view. Okay. It's very important. So you should at least concentrate on these topic properly. So we'll continue now. Ideal and non-ideal. This division of ideal solution and non-ideal solution, okay, is done, I told you, based on following parameters. We decide whether the solution is ideal or non-ideal. One is based on Rawls law, okay, and how to calculate also. I had told you, if you get whatever total pressure, okay, your experimental value, okay, that is observed value, if your experimental value comes out to be equal to the theoretical value, okay, so then we say that the particular solution is obeying Rawls law. Okay, total pressure, whatever you have calculated through experiment and whatever you have done theoretically, if both of them match with each other, then they obey. One more point for us to decide whether the solution is ideal or non-ideal is enthalpy of mixing. You have to check for enthalpy of mixing. Okay. Then next one is the volume of mixing. And the fourth factor is the force of attraction between them. Okay, so all these will decide whether the solution given to us is ideal or non-ideal. So we will discuss this. Okay, these are the parameters which you need to tell for ideal and as well as non-ideal. Like if they ask you difference between ideal and non-ideal, you will talk about Rawls law, you will talk about enthalpy of mixing, you will talk about the volume of mixing and whatever force of attraction these solutions are having. Okay, so I'll start with the first one, ideal solution. So ideal solution means the solution which will obey Rawls law over the entire concentration. Okay, so you don't find any deviation which is taking place. Whatever you are expecting, same answer you are getting. Okay, I had told you ideal means the perfect one. Okay, whatever is expected from them, same answer if they are giving you, then that is an ideal condition. Okay, you don't find them going here and there. So here, when two solutions are mixed together, if I take A as one liquid and B as one liquid, okay, two liquids are taken, A and B. Between A and A, there will be some attraction. Between B and B, there will be some force of attraction, okay. When they are forming A and B, if their attractions are similar, okay, then they will obey this Rawls law. And how do you find out? How do you find out that they are obeying is, I told you yesterday, observed and the theoretical one, you have to see whether they match with each other. Okay. And theoretical calculation we can do just by taking PA is equal to, we know that PA is equal to P naught of A into mole fraction, and PB, we know that it is P naught B into the mole fraction. Okay. So if you add these two values, when you add these two values together, that this and this, okay, together, when you add them, PA plus PB, you will get P total. Okay, that is theoretical one. And then you do experimentally and find out. And how to do experimentally? Two liquids are taken here. In this container, you can see manometer. So A and B liquids are mixed together and then you allow them to vaporize. And once they attain an equilibrium, you will see that a constant pressure will be exerted. After that, you don't find any change happening in this. Okay, in this manometer, mercury level will not change. Okay, they will attain one particular stage. So that stage, whatever pressure is being exerted, that is the total vapor pressure of A and B. Okay, A and B, whatever total pressure they are exerting, okay, that you will get once they attain this point. Okay, a saturation point will be attained here. So then you will get a observed value, that is your experimental value. So then you have to match with whatever you have calculated. So you will see almost there is similarity. You know, any solution cannot be perfectly ideal. 100% ideality you cannot expect. Okay, because two liquids can't behave in a similar fashion, but almost nearing to ideal behavior you will be able to see. Okay, so almost a similar value you are able to get. So then that's the ideal case. Okay, then what are the other properties you find in this ideal solution? Okay, and graph wise also, before going to that, graph wise, if you are going to plot, like we got the plot last time, you remember, for Rawls law, I had plotted. So you'll get a straight line graph. Okay, like this. See, if this is your component A, your component A initially will have higher vapor pressure, and then slowly when B is introduced, means the next liquid when they are introduced, it will decrease. Similarly with the next one, Initially, the B component will have higher vapor pressure. When the second component comes into picture, slowly that vapor pressure decreases. Okay. And this will be your total value. This will be the P total. Again, it comes out as a straight line. Okay. You don't find any deviation. You get exactly how we have picturized. Okay. This is Raoult's law graph, how you are supposed to get. Okay. So P total graph, you will get it in this fashion. And then other properties for ideal solution, that is enthalpy of mixing of the component when they form the solution. Okay, so there is A liquid and then you have a B liquid. See, now between A and A there will be some interaction, and between B and B there will be some interaction. Now how do you find enthalpy of mixing? See, initially between A and A I said there is interaction, and between B and B there is interaction. When A and B is formed, there will be one force of attraction. Okay, so now here when the solution is being formed, this bond has to break. No, between A and B the bond will break, and between the B and B the bond will start breaking. So in this case they will absorb the heat energy. So heat is absorbed in this case. Okay, when you have A liquid and B liquid, initially there is a force of attraction between them. But when you mix them, no, when you mix them, two components will start interacting with each other. So obvious that there will be a force of attraction happening between A and B. Okay, so now initially if they have to form now A and B, they have to break their bond. No, initial step is what? Breaking of A and B will start taking place once they lose their force of attraction between A and B. Okay, component, then they will go for forming A and B. So when A and B is being formed, that time what will happen to the heat? Heat will be released. Okay, you have learned in the chemical bonding also, anytime whenever a new bond is formed, heat will be released. When the old bonds are broken, heat will be absorbed because there is a bond between A and A. Okay, so if you have to break, they need energy, correct? No, so they will absorb the energy. A and A will absorb, B and B will absorb. Okay, once they have absorbed the energy, then when A and B interact, certain amount of energy will be released. So now whatever is absorbed, if same amount of energy is released, imagine that totally they have absorbed 20 joule of energy, and the energy released over here is again 20 joule. So you don't find any difference. No, whatever energy they have absorbed for breaking the bond, same amount of energy they have released during the formation of the bond. So then you don't feel there is any change which has happened. So delta means change. Okay, final minus the initial change when you are measuring. Okay, when you don't find any difference, then your delta H value will become 0. Okay, so this is delta H value becoming 0. So in ideal case, the amount of energy, whatever they absorb, same amount of energy gets released. Okay, so you don't find any change happening in the enthalpy. Now come to the next one. Okay, volume of mixing. Even volume of mixing will come out as 0. Okay, so you will think that every time volume of mixing should be 0 only, but it is not the case. Okay, only in the ideal case volume of mixing will be 0. Like example, if I take 100 ml of A, 100 ml of A mixture is taken, okay, and 100 ml of B is taken. Now when you mix together, how much are you expecting? When 100 ml plus 100 ml is mixed, when both are added together, you will say it has to come out as 200 ml. Yeah, so if it is an ideal case, only then you will get 200. Okay, so that volume can change. If it is not an ideal condition, then it can be more or it can be less. That you will see later. Okay, but now if it is an ideal condition, then whatever initial volume you have taken, no, for A liquid and B liquid, when you mix them together, it will come out as the total volume. Okay, 200 ml you will get here. So 200 ml you are getting. So if you calculate now the change, if I have to calculate the change, delta means the change. How do you calculate the change? Final minus the initial. Final we got 200 ml. Okay, minus initial was how much? 100 plus 100. So if you see the difference, you get 0. Okay, so then we say delta V of mixing is equal to 0. Okay, whatever you had taken for both the liquid, when you mix them, you get the total value for that. Okay, and when you subtract, you see there is no change in the volume. Whatever we have taken, same volume you are getting. Okay, so volume of mixing also becomes 0. Why is it happening? Reason I have given next. Okay, See the reason I've given here. Now, when you take a kind of a liquid, okay, we will consider that as a solvent. A and A will have certain interaction. And the second liquid B, between the B and B, there is certain force of interaction. Okay, A and A has, you have learned about interaction. No? There are different kind of forces which can exist between the molecules, like van der Waals force, then dipole-dipole interaction, dipole-induced dipole interaction, hydrogen bonding. These are the different kind of interaction our molecules can have. So now here, this is the a molecule. So between A and A molecule, there is a force of attraction between them. Similarly, B is one kind of a liquid. So all the B molecules, between them, there is one force of interaction. Now, when you mix them together, they are coming out of their environment, okay, and they are forming A and B. So now A and B is interacting with each other, okay. Initially, A had an interaction with A and B was having interaction with their B molecules. Now A and B are interacting with each other. So now suppose if this AB interaction comes out to be similar whatever they had with AA and whatever they had with BB, okay, if their interactions are similar. See, now imagine like imagine that A is from, I will take human beings because people, when we relate, then it becomes easy. Imagine this A is one child from one school. Okay, he has come from one school, and then there he had certain kinds of friends. No, there he will have certain kind of bonding. And this B, okay, is from another school. Okay, this B is from another school. There also, this B also had a certain kind of friends. Okay, one kind of bonding was there. Now when A and B has come to a different school where A and B becomes friend. Okay, and when they become friends, they feel that whatever friendship they had in their old school, same friendship they are having between themselves. Okay, so that means there is no change. No, he doesn't find any difference happening. Whatever kind of friendship he had in the old school, same friendship he is getting in the new one also. So you don't find any difference. If you don't find any difference, that means that is an ideal condition. Okay, so same thing you apply for the molecules also. Now A and A was having a certain kind of interaction. B and B, between them there was certain kind of force of attraction. Okay, now when A and B has reacted together to form a solution, A and B is also having a same kind of force of attraction. So there is no difference. Okay, so if there is no difference, then they will behave like a ideal solution. When the difference comes into picture, no, then they will deviate. Okay, when you start rebelling with something, when you don't like it, correct? No, if you find whatever like whatever you have expected, same thing if you have got, then you don't rebel, you are satisfied with that thing. Okay, so then that is an ideal condition. I hope you are able to understand, students, whatever I'm trying to say here, because it's in terms of molecule. Okay, so if A and B interaction is similar to whatever they had before between AA and between BB, okay, then they will behave like an ideal condition. Okay, so in this case, in ideal case, the intermolecular attraction which is there, okay, so that intermolecular attraction force is similar in AB compared to AA and BB. Did you follow this much, or should I repeat once again? Just let me know quickly. These molecules which we are taking, okay, here there will be one kind of molecule, and this B will be of one kind of molecule. When I take example, that will be more clear. Yes. Okay, so remember again, recall the points. First one, you have seen they should obey Raoult's law. If it is an ideal condition, they should obey Raoult's law. Second one, you have seen is enthalpy of mixing. When you mix these two liquids, A and the B liquid, to form AB, whatever energy they have absorbed to break this AA bond and BB bond, same amount of energy will be released when AB is being formed. Okay, so enthalpy of mixing will be 0. And the second one, after that, the next point we have discussed is the volume of mixing. You saw volume of mixing is 0. Okay, because whatever amount of liquid you have taken, same amount, the total volume you will get when AB is being formed. You don't find any difference. Okay, volume remains out same. So enthalpy of volume of mixing also will be 0. And why this is happening? Because here is the reason. Intermolecular attractive forces. Whatever forces they had before, Okay, in the solute and the solvent case, when they are mixed as a solution, they are experiencing the same force. Okay, so you don't find any difference. When you don't find any difference, there is no deviation. That's the ideal condition. Okay, intermolecular attractive forces between the solution, that is AB molecules, are similar to whatever they had as AA. This can be a solvent and BB can be the solute. Okay, so when the solute and the solvent, whatever interaction they had, same interaction they are having when they are mixed as a solution. Okay, now we'll go for example, which kind of molecules will show almost the ideal behavior. Here is the example. Okay, examples are also important. N-hexane and M-heptane. Okay, these are immediate homologous, we call them as homology of each other, immediate ones. Okay, so you don't find much difference. Only one CH2 is the difference between these compounds. Okay, N-hexane and N-heptane. This is one example. Second example, you can see bromoethane and chloroethane. I will write down the formula if you want. See, N-hexane formula is C6H14, no? Hexane, alkane it is. Double CnH2n plus 2, no? Double hydrogen plus 2 extra. Then compared to the carbon. So here, if it is 6, hex means 6. So then double is 12, 12 plus 2, 14. N-heptane will be C7, then H, 16. Okay. So you don't find much difference in them. Only one CH2 is the difference. One carbon and 2 hydrogen difference. Okay. Now if I take hexane and decane, they cannot be an ideal solution. They cannot form an ideal solution. Okay. So they should be like immediate ones. Not much difference should be there. Reason I will tell you also. Now bromoethane and chloroethane. Bromoethane is a C2H5Br and chloroethane is C2H5Cl. Okay, chloroethane. One more example, benzene and toluene. Again, benzene and toluene also has one CH2 difference. They are also immediate homology of each other. Okay, C6H6 here. And here in this case, C6H5 and then CH3. Okay, this is how the structure is. You have benzene ring attached to one CH3. This is toluene. Okay, where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbon. And here there is no hydrogen, this one. Because one is attached to carbon and then remaining you are having as 4 bonds. So no hydrogen. So C6H5 I took and CH3. So if you see the difference, it's only CH2. Now why immediate ones will show the ideal solution? Okay, why they will obey the Raoult's law? Because there is no much difference in the van der Waals. See, now if I take N-hexane, hexane and decane, the molecular mass will increase, no? Compared to hexane and decane. Decane is very huge. Okay, so this mass will be larger. Mass will be very high. And hexane and heptane, both of them, or decane, all of these are covalent compounds. They are molecules. They will experience between them whatever force is existing, that is van der Waals force of attraction. Okay, between hexane and hexane molecule, between hexane and heptane molecule. Okay, they are having van der Waals force of attraction between them. So if you take a huge difference compound, then here the van der Waals force of attraction will be very large. So when van der Waals force of attraction increases, the intermolecular force of attraction also will increase. Okay, so then it will start deviating. So if you want an ideal condition, then they should be almost similar. Yes, very good. They should be almost similar in mass and size, almost similar. Because ideal cannot be 100% ideal, but almost similar, nearing to ideal behavior you can expect. Okay, even here see bromoethane and chloroethane, there is no much difference in their mass now. Okay, chlorine and bromine are immediate ones. You can't take now here chlorine and iodine. If you take chlorine and iodine, there will be huge difference in their mass. So when the mass increases, the van der Waals force of attraction will increase. If attraction increases, then it will show you non-ideal behavior, not ideal ones. Okay, even here benzene and toluene, all of these molecules here, between benzene there is van der Waals, between toluene also there is van der Waals. So when you mix them also, there is same van der Waals force of attraction between them. Okay, so these are the example. You can make a note of the examples. Yes, we'll go for next one. These 3 example, I believe you have made a note of this. Okay, now we'll go for non-ideal solution. Okay, now whatever we had written for ideal. Opposite to that will be the non-ideal solutions. No? So non-ideal solution will not obey Raoult's law. Okay, over the entire concentration, you don't find the exact value. So when you calculate the observed and the theoretical value, they will not be equal to each other. Okay, you will get one value for theoretical and observed will be another one. And you know how to calculate, like real ones. Yeah, these will be the actual ones. Okay, the reality ones. So in this case, non-ideal condition, they do not obey Raoult's law over the entire range of concentration. So your theoretical and observed values will be different from one another. Okay. And then what are the other points you are observing here? The next one is enthalpy of mixing of these pure components to form the solution. That also will not be equal to 0. Okay. Will not be equal to 0. Reason is because see, when this AA and this BB molecules are breaking and forming the AB molecules, either the heat energy absorbed will be more or the heat energy absorbed will be less. Okay, in the ideal condition, what should happen? Heat absorbed should become equal to heat released. Okay, whatever heat energy they have absorbed to break the bond, same amount of energy they will release when they are forming the bond. Okay, then that is the ideal condition. But here it doesn't happen like that. Okay, either the heat absorbed will be higher or the heat released will be higher, or I am writing. Okay, any one will happen if it is an non-ideal condition. Either more amount of heat energy is absorbed or more amount of heat energy is released. Okay, they will not be equal to one another. So you don't get delta mixing H is equal to 0, you get not equal to 0. Okay, either higher or you will get the lower value. Okay, and next one is volume of mixing. This volume of mixing is also not equal to 0. Okay, you can just remember it is not equal to 0. I have written here delta V of mixing not equal to 0. Okay, reason is because of the intermolecular force of attraction. Yeah, these are opposite to like ideal solution. Non-ideals are opposite to ideal ones. So here interaction between AA and BB. So they were in their own world here. AA were in their own world and BB, they were in their own ones. Okay. When they were made to react together to form a solution, that is AB, then this A and B interaction, okay, it depends on A and B interaction. Either A and B will not like each other, correct? No. See, A has come from one environment, B has come from one environment. If it's not an ideal condition, then A and B, when they are made to react, they may not like each other. Okay, so then one interaction can happen. Or A and B may have a strong bonding with one another. Okay, so two possibilities are there. So when A and B are made to react to each other, either A and B, when they are mixed together, they may not like one another, or A and B will have a strong interaction with one another. Okay, so if you see here, in non-ideal condition, basically what happens is the intermolecular attractive forces between the AB is not similar to whatever they had between AA and BB. It will be different. Okay, it will be different from whatever they had before. Either it will be stronger or it will be weaker. Okay, either it is stronger or it will be weaker. So you are getting two possibilities everywhere. You see, I told you enthalpy also, delta H value, either you will get higher or you will get lower. Okay, even volume of mixing, volume is not equal to 0. Either it is higher or it is lower. Even your interaction, either it is going to be stronger or it is going to be weaker. Okay, so there are two possibilities which can happen in the non-ideal condition, which give rise to the two different, we have two different ones that I will explain. Okay, first you can make a note of this. Done, no? Okay, I believe everyone has finished. If not, later you can ask, I will send. Okay. Yeah, so I told you now, here everywhere you have seen, okay, delta H value also you saw. Either it can be positive or it can be negative. Okay, I said no, it can be higher or it can be lower. Even delta V value, okay, it will not be equal to 0. That means either it is positive or it is negative. And even in the bonding you have seen that AB bonding which is going to take place, either that bond can become stronger or they can be weaker. So everywhere you see there is two possibilities taking place in non-ideal. Okay, either it is on the positive side or it is on the negative side. So based on that we have two here, two non-ideal solutions are being formed. Okay, one showing a positive deviation, and then we have the other one showing a negative deviation. Okay, non-ideal solutions are classified into two categories depending on whatever value we have got. Okay, every time either you get a positive value or you will get a negative value. So I will discuss this, then later you can write down. Okay, so first listen for non-ideal solution. So I'm taking the first one. Okay, when they are showing positive deviation. So now here I have directly taken the example, okay, for positive and negative. See, now suppose if you take 10 ml of A liquid and 10 ml of B liquid. If it is ideal condition, how much are you expecting? 20 ml, correct? No? But if it's a non-ideal solution and if they are showing positive deviation, okay, what is observed is, yeah, you will get more than, yes, you will get more than 20. Okay, so here it is obtained more than 20 ml. Yeah, 20, one, yeah, like that. Okay, it depends, 20 point something, it can be like that also, but you are expecting more, you will get more value than what you have expected. Okay, you will not get 20, so volume increases. So don't think that every time if I take 10 and 10 I will get 20 only, but it depends on what kind of interaction they are having. So here in the non-ideal solution which shows positive deviation, it is found that they are getting more than 20 ml. So if they are getting more than 20 ml, the volume of mixing will become more than 0. Like if you calculate and find out, see delta of mixing, final value. Okay, imagine if I get 20, okay, 21 only I'll take because many of you are telling 21. So imagine if it is 21. 21 minus 20. Then I'll get 1 ml extra, no? Plus 1 ml is extra. So I am getting a positive value, no? I am getting more than 0. Okay, so then this comes under positive deviation if your volume is more. Okay, so volume of mixing is more than 0, or you can even write delta volume of mixing is positive. Okay, so that is in the case of non-ideal with positive deviation. Let's go for the next one. If they are showing negative deviation, okay, then if I take 10 ml of A and around 10 ml of B, then your volume is there, no? Yeah, that will be less than 20 ml. Okay, yeah, 19 ml. Okay, let us take 19 ml. Less than 20 ml. Suppose if it comes out to be 19 ml. So if you're going to calculate this of mixing, volume of mixing, okay, final minus the initial one. Final was 19. Total volume we got 19. Initial was this, no, 20 ml. So that is 20 ml. So if you subtract, you will get minus 1. So volume of mixing will be less than 0. Okay, minus 1 you are getting. Your value is minus 1 ml. So less than 0. Okay. So clear what happens in positive and negative deviation. Reason I will tell you later. Okay. Now you just see what happens when you have two kinds of liquid with. So here delta V value will be negative. Okay. Next, same thing. Heat absorbed during this mixing, okay, will be more. Heat will be absorbed during the reaction. Okay. Heat, the amount of heat released will be less. The amount of heat absorbed will be more. And you know, if it is the heat absorbed is more, then the delta H value will be positive, no? Positive means what? Endothermic reaction. And if heat energy is released, then it is exothermic reaction. So here heat energy will be liberated. If they are showing negative deviation, then heat energy, more amount of heat energy will be released than compared to whatever has been absorbed. Okay, so then delta H value will be negative. Okay, you will get negative value for this. Okay, so these are the differences. Reason I will give you later. Okay, why they are showing these differences, that I will discuss. So you can quickly make a note of these, students. I want you to write this example because many time in the exam they have asked question like this. Okay, if 10 ml of A is mixed with 20 ml, 10 ml of B, and you are getting less than 20 ml, what kind of deviation is that? So this kind of question also can be expected. Okay, this comes in 1 marks. The compulsory part is there, no? So there they ask this kind of question.